Hey guys, what's up? Zeep here. Today we're doing a little bit different of a video. Today we're looking at an experience grinding build. And there's many different variations of the way you can play this build, but um, the DPS build that you use is pretty close to the experience grinding build that I use. I don't play ZDPS, I play kind of a hybrid build, so I'm doing DPS, but it's not great. It's not as good as it would be with the regular gear. So, if you refer to my other video for my DPS build, which I will put a link up right now, just click on that and you can refer back to the DPS build and it'll go over the spec and everything. So pretty much what you're going to do here is you're going to replace 3 pieces of gear and, well, 4 pieces of gear, I'm sorry. You're going to replace your helm with a Leorix crown. The 100% would be, ideal to get that extra buff from your gem. And you also want a Hellfire ring, which also increases your bonus experience by 45%. And if you want, you can also get a Leorix Signet ring, which gives you 25 to 30% extra. I don't have one currently. I had one, but it was the lowest roll. It was like a 20%, so I just got rid of it. But if you do not have a Leorix Signet, here's what you can use, and this will help the DPS just a little more. Get you a Convention of Elements. Now, the gems you're going to be using with this build will be the SO gem and also the Molten Wildebeest gem. And what this is going to do is give you defensive buffs so you don't die as easy, because you want to stay alive with this build. So pretty much here's what you're going to do. That's the only things that differ from the actual build, aside from the gloves. I'm sorry. Just toss you on some Tau Rush's gloves to get your set bonus. Now, what you're wanting to do is you want to go into regular rifts and farm up some pools of reflection so you get that extra experience buff down here. And that should put you up to 1,700%. Now, this will bump up the more people you have in a party. If you have a full party, it'll get up to like 2,500 to 3,000, depending on your crown. So, that's pretty much it for the guide as far as the gear and stuff goes. Here's the build, and I explain how to use that in my other video. So let's jump into some gameplay, and I'll show you how this works. Alright guys, we're back, and we are going to jump into a 43 Greater Rift, and as you can see, my experience went up to 2,200. I thought it was around 3,000, but that was with the Signet that I had, Leorix Signet. So we're going to jump into this and just grind some experience. Now, like I said, the biggest part about doing this is you do not want to die. If you die, it's pretty worthless to have that pools of reflection on there. You gain so much more experience by getting that pool. And as you can see there, I'm 742 Paragon levels, and I need about roughly 4 bars to level. As you can see, my damage is pretty low, and I'm getting a little bit of lag. I mean, you can hold your own with using that convention of elements. It does help. But what you're pretty much going to be doing is hanging back and pulling mobs, which, you know, I'm running with demon hunters and things like that, and they're running pretty fast, so I'm not able to pull too much here for these guys. But the biggest thing is you want to throw down your twister, pull these mobs in, and as soon as you pull those mobs in, you want to immediately blizzard. That way you can stun the mobs. And I'm trying to hang back because I almost died earlier and I don't want to die. I was standing in poison, I think. I was talking and not paying attention. It's pretty lame to do this to people, but if you're trying to grind up some experience and get you some Paragon levels, this is going to be your best way to do it. And I would recommend speed running lower 40s, about 40 to 45. I mean, if you can get into a group that's doing about 48 to 49, that would be ideal. But when you get into the 50s, you're probably more than likely going to die if you don't have a Z DPS, because you need that tank. So to sustain your blizzard all the time, you want to be using your electrocute to get that extra resources back. And to do that, you want to re-roll one of your stats to critical hits grant 4 arcane power on your offhand. And 4 arcane power is the highest that you can get. And that will keep you pretty good on arcane power. Now you can throw your Hydra down if you want to help out with a little extra damage, but you don't have to because you're pretty much just stunning things for people with your Blizzard and pulling thing in with your Energy Twister. Things, not thing. You can still crit for about 1,000,000,000 damage with this build, but it's really the luck of how your convention of element rings is procking. Now the higher levels you go in the greater rifts, the better the experience farm is going to be. But for the purpose of this video, I'm doing a lower greater rift. And I just about died, so I'm going to hang back a little bit and just throw down some blizzards and stun these mobs for these guys. As you can see, they're not moving. Now, elite packs are a little tricky because your blizzard does not stun them as much or as long as it would with regular mobs. So you kind of have to spam it every half second or so. Just being very aware of where I'm standing at now. But that twister is really nice because if you get some mobs on you, you can throw your twister down, and the range on it's 30 yards. So you can drag the mobs a good ways away from you and be able to get away. Usually, the way I would run this would be there's a 2 billion crit for you there. I got lucky with my convention ring. So on bosses, you want to stand really far back, and the only thing you're going to be doing is electrocuting and throwing your blizzard down to stun the boss for the party. Now, if you want to, you can throw down your Hydra, and I'll go ahead and do that. But the main thing is just electrocute and get that uh, arcane power back. Alright, so once the turn-in goes in, we'll see what we ended with. And as a lot of you know, if you're in the 700s or mid 700s, you know it takes a long time to grind that experience. So a 40 to 45 would only give you probably a half a bar of experience, maybe. And with this setup, I'm getting about 2 bars now. So it goes a lot faster. I mean, it's not a whole lot faster, but it's more faster than getting a half bar. So you can set this up many different ways. You can also go straight Z DPS if you wanted to. I just like going with this little DPS build just to help the party out a little more. So that's pretty much the guide, guys. And thank you so much for joining me. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next video, guys. See ya.